head coach Phil Neville. We'll go straight into questions.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Decent.
Imagine how I feel.
A really entertaining, high-intensity, end-to-end game tonight. What did you feel about your players' effort and performance from the first half compared to the second half?
I mean, effort wasn't an issue. I think the first thing I would say it was an incredible advert for MLS football. Me and Pat at the end just both probably felt the same. It was a proper game of football. Two teams that were desperate to win. One team really experienced. One team that was young that made some mistakes in the game but never give in. My players never give in. You know, it could have been easy at 3-0. You thought at 3-0, you thought, well, Vancouver playing game. You thought, like, could this be 4 or 5? But really, we weren't playing that bad. The thing I've just said to them at the end is that we've learned so much tonight in terms of it was a playoff-type atmosphere, playoff-type level of game. And in these biggest moments, and I think about the Vancouver game about it's higher level. So in the highest level of games, what do you need? Concentration, discipline. And that doesn't mean sort of like yellow cards. It means like just doing your job that we ask you to do. Don't do anything other than your job. Do the things simple. Do the things basic. That's what the best players do in the biggest games. And I'd say that a team like Cincinnati, that's what they did tonight. Were they outstanding? No, but they did the basics really well. And for the first 35 minutes, we didn't. And we were chasing all over the place. We had centre midfield players at left wing. We had three centre backs that were 20 yards deeper than everybody else. And there was no connection as a team and keeping our shape. So I think it was an absolute incredible game of football. We've had some incredible learnings tonight in terms of what we need to improve on. And the effort was just, for me, it's that standard for my players. You know, I said to them in the end, don't come off at the end and think, you know what, we did well second half. No, they just played to their level. You know, that's the type of football, that's the type of levels, that's the type of energy, that's the type of quality that we've been asking for. And unfortunately, the first 30 minutes wasn't. And we got punished by a really good team and some really good individual players. And the things that I can accept is that we can't let in goals like we did there at the first 30 minutes.
And then also in the second half, a lot more emphasis on just getting balls into the box and a lot more players crowding the box. Was that something that you were working on in training this week?
Yeah, I think they dropped deep. You know, they were really deep. So we had to make sure when a team drops deep, you have to put them under pressure. And I thought we just forced too many long crosses. I thought we had to play the ball into feet and play combinations a little bit more. That's what we'd been working on the week. Because you think about Miazga, Robinson, Hageland, Hadibe when he came on. It's, you know, it's almost like meat and drink for them, really. You know what I mean? And, you know, balls coming into the box is what they thrive on. We had to, just like we did for the goal, we got the ball into Kelsey's feet. He wriggled in and out. We knew that he was going to be probably a little bit sharper. Anthony, Ari, who I thought was really good again. Just playing with quality and playing in and around. DaCosta, we had a really good chance at the end with Anthony. And, I mean, we had a 100% penalty with an handball. So, but I'm not going to go there.
Hey, Phil. AC fixed? Is your AC fixed? You doing okay?
Well, it's gone cooler anyway, so it's nice. I can open the windows.
Yeah. Good. Well, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So, not the results we wanted, but your press conference, you mentioned you wanted Providence Park to turn up. You didn't want them to cheer Evander. You wanted them to be a force to be reckoned with. And so it sounds like you got what you wanted with that the energy, everything was going well. So with that being said, do you think it's just the young players and that lack of discipline? Because, you know, Kelsey coming in young played phenomenal today, like with a passion. And obviously it's his old team, but there's something to be said for that young kid just dominating the way he did. So just kind of your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, we've got some of the best young players in the MLS without a shadow of a doubt. You know, you think about Kelsey today, he looked like a real top striker. You know, they had a top striker on their side, Denke, you know, without a doubt, European Champions League type player, and we had a top striker on our side. And I think, obviously, playing against his former club, what I thought from Kevin tonight is that, you know, a couple of early passes didn't go his way, but he was hungry and he showed courage. Same with all the players. You know, I can't fault any of them in terms of sort of like their qualities. It's just, like I said at the start, in the biggest games you've got to learn. And learning is about just doing the simple, basic things really well. And they've got to trust the words that we say to them. And I think what we have now, we have another 8 games that are going to be like this level. You know, you go to San Diego, Vancouver, Seattle, Houston, Minnesota, they're going to be playoff level type games. And if you lose concentration, if you chase the game a little bit, which young players do, and we have to accept that, and that's part of the experience. That's why we've brought in the 2 or 3 players we're bringing in, because they've got game experience. They've got that experience to say, settle down, come here, stay next to me. And that's why we've made the signings we've made, because we just probably need that little bit of experience now in the team just to keep guiding these incredible players in the right direction. And, you know, the second half, the fans showed up. The fans were incredible. I mean, when you know, the opposing manager, when you say, he said, first thing he said was, this atmosphere was incredible. When you speak to the new signings, Christopher has come from Olympiacos, where they are crazy in their stadium, and I said, look, Providence Park's similar. Caballo's come from Grêmio, where the Brazilians are obsessed with football. I said, well, Portland's the same. And so we're lucky. They're our extra player. They're our extra player tonight. They're the reason why we got close to getting back into the game. And what I would say is I think they've gone away seeing an incredible game of football, but unfortunately we didn't get the right result that we wanted.
Phil, the effort can't be questioned tonight from the team, but in those first 30 minutes, you played in teams in your career that were famous for laying down a marker early in big, heavily contested games like that. Do you just feel like maybe that marker that was a little bit lacking in those first 30 minutes?
I thought tonight was a marker game. I really did. I thought it was a statement game where you win this game and you're at 40 points and you're touching it. So, wasn't to be. We hit the bar and then 10 seconds later the ball's in the back of our net. That's concentration. That's not structure, system. That's concentration. That's players not doing exactly how we coached them. That's youth. That's players trying to win the game on their own. And that's the big learning. You know, when you're 3-0 down, you lose that little bit of concentration. And like I say, it's something that we've experienced over the last 6 to 8 months, something that as a coach you've got to take responsibility for. They've got to be better, and I've got to be better with them. And the only way that you will learn is by just keep getting out there and playing. They've learned big lessons tonight, and so that for me is a real plus. They haven't got the rewards that I think they deserve. They haven't got the points. I think we deserved at least a point. But they've learned tonight that in the biggest games, you've got to do a certain thing. And so we just got to keep practicing, got to keep working hard, got to keep getting back on that bike and keep charging forward, because there's no time at this moment in time to sulk. And we've got a couple of days now where we've got to get back into shape and go again on Tuesday.
Hey, Coach. Love to hear your thoughts just about kind of the starting 11, in particular the midfield play between Ortiz and David Shala tonight. It seems like once Christian Paredes came on in the second half, there was a big lift in kind of the energy. Just your thoughts on some of the midfield play, both in the first half and then contrasted with the second half.
Yeah, I actually didn't think that the big problem was actually in most of it. It was in midfield. I think, yes, we played João because we wanted him to be in and around Evander, but there was many facets to the reasons we scored the third goal, and we have 4 or 5 really good central midfield players, and Christian's in really good form. I think João last week against Club Americas was outstanding. Ayala's played in most football matches. At this moment in time, I think he's just fatiguing a little bit, but we're going to get some rest into him this week. And Diego and Felipe Caballo will come into the reckoning for next week. So we've got real competition for places in there. You know, I've rotated the position next to David. And like I say, you defend as a team and attack as a team. And, You know, I thought that Christian did when he came on, he's played to the level that he's been playing at in the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's been a real positive, uses experience in games well, and been a real threat for us.
We're going to wrap it there. Thanks for the time,
Thanks.
Phil.